There are three absolutely vital things that you need to have in any garden, especially a small home garden. Most of our soils these days are quite depleted of nutrients and vitamins and minerals that you need to grow healthy plants. So we need to feed our soils, and we do that through composting. If you don't have any means of composting at home, then try and buy some compost off someone who does make it, or from a reputable nursery. It's very easy to make compost at home though. We can buy from just any old hardware. We can buy from any hardware store a simple composting unit where you put your foodstuffs in the top along with your grass cuttings and twigs and leaves and things, and then you till that a bit, and then you can take your compost, your ready-made compost, out of the bottom. We need things like earthworms in our garden. Then the second most important thing that we need is sunlight. Sunlight, we are so lucky to live in the southern hemisphere, so there's over 320 days of sunlight in an average year. So we have plenty of sunlight for the photosynthesis of our plants so that they can be strong and healthy. And then the third thing is water. We have had some water restrictions, but if you can collect water in your own ways, through rain or from your bath. I love taking a bucket in my bathroom and actually taking the water out my bath and throwing it out the window to try and water my plants. So there are ways that we can save water and use that to water our plants and to recycle water. So those are the three really important things that you need for any healthy garden. That's compost, sunlight, and water. So for any healthy compost, you do need some carbon, some nitrogen, and some foodstuffs, and then preferably some red wrigglers, which are your earthworms. So for the carbon, you can use any twigs and any old leaves and things that you rake up in your home garden. Then for the nitrogen, any cuttings, so from your green grass or any green leafy vegetables and things from your kitchen that are left over. So I have a little composting bin on the counter in my kitchen, so any foodstuffs that are left over go into there, including fruits, vegetables, eggshells, whatever you have, but not too much of the citrus stuff. So too much pineapple or lemon or orange can be quite acid forming and stops the breakdown process. That's a lovely way of separating your garbage. Anything can go into that compost as long as it's greens, leftover food, fruit cuttings, eggshells, but not too much of the acid citrus things like your pineapple or your lemons or oranges, or even too many onions and things are not great in compost. We want to keep the alkalinity right. So you put those into the compost along with your leaves and your grass cuttings, and you till that, and then you need to put a little bit of other soil inside as well. You layer it and you let it ferment and break down. You do need to add a little bit of water to the compost every now and then. There are many different ways to make compost. Sometimes it will work really well, sometimes it won't work well, but do your best to separate your food items, put your carbon, nitrogen, all those other few things that I've discussed, and try your best to make beautiful home compost. And then when that's broken down, put that onto your garden to feed your veggies. Because some of the soils are so depleted these days, we need to feed them. And plants, specifically like tomatoes, are heavy feeders. So they're not going to do well in just any old soil. They need lots of compost and lots of organic fertilizers so that they can utilize the vitamins and the minerals and the nutrients from those fertilizers and composts to really make a beautiful, ripe and sweet tomato. When your compost is ready, if you add that to your already existing vegetable patch and you water it and there's good sunlight, you won't believe the difference in the growth of your produce. One thing I didn't mention about compost is also to put some manure, and horse manure is the best manure for compost, and that's very, very rich in nutrients like sulfur, which is one of the vital things to grow big and strong and healthy vegetables.